Practice number 2 is in the books as the Bengals and the South team were on the field here at Lapham Stadium earlier this afternoon. Marisa Contipelli and Dave Lapham with you. As Dave, we got to see the prospects out there on the field for the second time during the Senior Bowl week. And an initial takeaway for me was that it was a much cleaner practice than we saw on day one. Guys showing that they're learning from the coaches, trying to adapt. And a thing that I absolutely loved seeing, it was high intensity, high energy, a lot of competitive spirit from the guys.
Couldn't agree with you more, Marissa. We were disappointed, I think, in what happened in the first practice. A lot of guys jumping off sides, a lot of guys antsy, looked like some assignment mistakes. And this week-long interview process, you cannot repeat mistakes. You know, if you make a mistake, you can't make it again and again and again. The coach is going to look to see if you can adapt and adjust like you were describing. And, I mean, when I played in the Senior Bowl, I looked at it as that week-long, interview process. And, I mean, you're basically just putting it all out there. And every single day I looked at the practices as it was either going to be a validation for me or an elimination for me, And so you put a lot of pressure on yourself to, if you have a bad day, better not make it 2 bad days. And if you have a good day, stack another good day on top of that. Stack together good practices back to back to back.
Well, an area on defense we expect the Bengals to address this offseason is the linebacker position. Step one was bringing in Al Golden. And I know you've mentioned that you've liked what you've seen from some of the young prospects out there this week.
I like what I see out there. There's some going to have to work with a lot of them, but I do see some potential there. There are 4 prospects for the South, which is good. 6 altogether that I want to talk about, 2 for the North, but for the South. Cam Brown out of Penn State. This kid has played middle linebacker, strong side outside linebacker, weak side outside linebacker. And then today in the pass rush drill, he worked his way down there as an outside pass rusher, gave a nice little edge rush, a little inside move on an offensive tackle. So this kid is a very versatile athlete, and I think the Bengals are going to like that part of his game. Davion Taylor out of Colorado, 6'2", 225-pounder. He can really run. He's a speed guy. So he's a weak side outside linebacker type guy that is able to handle things in space in terms of coverage for sure. A couple of other guys. We talked about this guy yesterday. In my mind, he's had back-to-back days. Impressive. He stacked days together. Terrell Lewis out of Alabama. He's kind of could play outside in terms of an edge rush guy, as well as Sam linebacker, strong side outside linebacker, 6'5", 252 pounds. The problem that he's got an injury history, and we know all kinds of abilities to have durability and availability are 2 big abilities. His career hasn't been that way, but I'll tell you, he's been the best linebacker in the one-on-one drills that I've seen for 2 straight days. And then finally, a little bit smaller individual, Akeem Davis Gaither out of Appalachian State, 6'2", 215, 220. Another weak side outside linebacker that can really run. So the Bengals have 4 that they're looking at. They'll also be evaluating a couple of linebackers from the North. Logan Wilson out of Wyoming. 6'2", 250-pounder. He's a thumper in today's football. He's an inside linebacker. 400 total tackles in a career. He's a tackling machine. And then Evan Weaver out of Cal. Again, another inside linebacker, 6'3", 235, 240 pounds. So there are 6 guys that will be playing in this football game that the Bengals can take a long, hard look at. And it wouldn't surprise me, Marissa, if the Bengals sign a couple in free agency and then draft a couple more. I mean, I think that is going to be a position that they're really addressed this offseason.
Well, Lap, we always know that you want as much depth as you possibly can, and especially in different position groups. And one for the Bengals that could come to mind is the wide receiver group, given the recent injuries with A.J. Green, John Ross battling injuries before. And when you look at national media, everyone is saying this is one of the deepest receiving classes they've seen.
Absolutely, and that filters down to this game, the Senior Bowl. There's a myriad of receivers. There's tall, long receivers. There's shorter slot receivers, and everything in between. And so it's a very, very strong position group. And again, like you said, with injury, with contract situations, you can never have enough good receivers. Look what Auden Tate did when he got his opportunity. I mean, if everybody's healthy and Auden Tate's coming off the bench as the 4th receiver, what he showed last year, I mean, you say, oh, if healthy, that's a position of strength. Well, the big caveat, if healthy. So you can never have enough. Bring some guys in to compete at training camp. Let the best man win. There's a lot of them out here to choose from, Marissa.
There certainly is, Lap. Well, we will continue to be with you throughout the week as the game approaches Saturday afternoon here at Lapham Stadium. For practice tomorrow on Thursday, we will be over at the University of South Alabama due to inclement weather expected in the area. Practice is going to be moved inside over to that facility, but we will still bring you a recap following practice, and make sure to check back into Bengals.com for all the latest contents.